NCRT, Exemplar 11, Biology, Chapter Breathing and Exchange of Gases. First question here, respiration in insects is called direct because. Options are given, the tissues exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide directly with the air in the tubes. The tissues exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide directly with the coelomic fluid. Third option is given, the tissues exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide directly with the air outside through body surface. The fourth option given, tracheal tubes exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide with the haemocoel which then exchange with tissues. So the answer is tracheal tubes. Tracheal tube exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide directly with the haemocoel, which then exchange with the tissues. Regarding the functions of our respiratory system, mark the wrong entry. Humidifies the air, warms up the air, and diffusion of gases cleans up the air. So actually, in comparison with respiratory system, question asked here, respiratory system, humidifies the air, warms up the air, diffusion of gases, cleans up the air, seems to be all are correct actually. But when you take respiratory system in the given question as a conducting part, if you take only conducting part into the consideration, that conducting part of the respiratory system from nostrils to alveolar duct humidifies the air, warms up the air, and cleans up the air. So, in that particular pattern, if you take respiratory system into the consideration, all four options will be correct here. But if you take respiratory system as a conducting part, this is the only odd one out to say. So, that's why I am selecting diffusion of gas as the answer. But overall, if you take into consideration of respiratory system, everything is going to be the function. All the four are correct. We don't have a wrong entry here, but I am taking conducting part as a part and I selected diffusion of gases. A person suffered punctures in his chest cavity in an accident without any damage to the lungs. Its effect could be reduced breathing rate, rapid increase in breathing rate, no change in the respiration, cessation of breathing. This is also little confusing here. Actually, even chest cavity is punctured. Definitely there is a reduction in breathing rate and we'll try to increase our breathing rate. But NCRT is given answer, cessation of breathing is the answer here. Cessation, cease, that means breathing is going to be stopped, we can say. So finally, when chest cavity is punctured, final result is going to be the cessation of breathing. That's why they selected cessation of breathing as an answer. It is known that exposure to carbon monoxide is harmful to animals because four options are given here. It reduces carbon dioxide transport, oxygen transport. It reduces carbon dioxide transport, increases carbon dioxide transport, and the fourth option is given. It destroys hemoglobin. So among these, carbon monoxide and oxygen. So both are having binding capacity with hemoglobin. But carbon monoxide affinity with binding with hemoglobin is comparatively higher than oxygen. That means when a person takes both carbon monoxide, oxygen through the air into the lungs, definitely the hemoglobin prefer bind with carbon monoxide instead with oxygen. So that leads to the formation of carboxyhemoglobin. So that makes overall the hemoglobin is busy with carbon monoxide. That's why you may not transport oxygen. That leads to the death even. Continuous breathing of hemoglobin may lead to the death even. So that's why we can say, we can select answer here. It reduces the oxygen transport. Oxygen transport is going to be reduced here. This is the answer, second option. Fifth question, mark the true statement among the following with reference to normal breathing. With reference to normal breathing. Inspiration is a passive process where expiration is active. Inspiration is an active process whereas expiration is the passive. Inspiration and expiration are active processes. Inspiration and expiration are passive processes. Here, for inspiration and expiration, the muscles required are external intercostal muscles required for both inspiration and expiration are external intercostal muscle and abdominal diaphragm muscles, phrenic muscles we can say, diaphragm muscle or phrenic muscle or radial muscle. So during the contraction of external intercostal muscle and diaphragm muscle, during their contraction, inspiration occurs. When they relax, expiration occurs. Contraction require energy. That means ATP is required and then it is called as active process. Relaxation of these muscles itself leads to the expiration. So that's why we can say inspiration require energy. It's an active process where expiration is happening by the relaxation of these muscles. That's why we can select second option here. Inspiration is an active process and where expiration is a passive process. A person breathes in some volume of air by forced inspiration. After having forced expiration, the quantity of air is taken in. Here it is given TLC, total lung capacity, which means TV plus IRV plus ERV plus RV. Okay, so tidal volume is given. Tidal volume is so simple to say. Tidal volume, the volume of air enter into the lungs, exit the lung. Normal respiration we can say tidal volume. VC is given here. That means TB plus IRV plus ERV. Inspiration capacity TB plus IRV. IC equal to TB plus IRV. So here it is given. A person breathes some volume of air by forced inspiration. Okay, so that means these two are the inspirational process. After having a forced expiration. So what are covered here? TB plus IRB plus ERB. So what is our answer then? Vital capacity. Answer for here, vital capacity. Question number 7. Mark the incorrect statement in context to oxygen binding to hemoglobin. Higher pH, lower temperature, lower PCO2, higher PO2. So binding of oxygen with hemoglobin along with the partial pressure of oxygen, it depends upon the various factors like carbon dioxide, H plus ions, temperature and pH. Okay, so binding of hemoglobin with oxygen, PO2 should be higher, okay. Carbon dioxide should be lower, hydrogen ion should be lower, temperature should be lower, pH also should be lower here, that means acidic condition, less than 7 it should be. So in that angle if you see that all are seems to be correct, higher pH is correct, lower temperature is correct, lower carbon dioxide is correct, higher PO2 is even correct. So that's why we can say all the 4 options are there. Right, incorrect statement, there is no incorrect statement. Might be if you take over here it is actually P should be written in small letter when we are showing the partial pressure. So might be in that angle we may select this, but NCERT text selected answer is higher pH. But higher pH also favors. Maybe he is thinking like so higher H plus ions. Higher H plus ions definitely affect the binding of oxygen with hemoglobin. So little controversial we can say. But NCERT is given question answer is higher pH. I don't accept this actually. So it might be higher H plus ions, not higher pH. Mark the correct pair of muscles involved in the normal breathing in human. External and internal intercostal muscle, diaphragm and abdominal muscle, diaphragm and external intercostal muscle, diaphragm and internal intercostal muscle. So as I said now, the diaphragm and external intercostal muscles are helpful for the normal breathing, inspiration and expiration by their contractions and relaxation. So the option 3 is the answer. Incidence of emphysema, a respiratory disorder high in cigarette smokers. In such cases, bronchioles are found damaged, alveolar walls are found damaged, plasma membrane is found damaged, respiratory muscles are found damaged. Here, in case of emphysema, alveolar walls are going to be found damaged. Alveolar walls. So, what is our answer? Alveolar walls are found damaged. Respiratory process regulated by certain specialized centers in the brain. One of the following listed center can reduce the inspiratory duration upon stimulation. Here given options given here: medullary inspiratory center, pneumotaxic center, and apneustic center, chemosensitive area. So, medullary inspiratory center, pneumotaxic, apneustic, chemosensitive. For this question, our answer is pneumotaxic center. Carbon dioxide dissociate from carbamino hemoglobin. Carbamino hemoglobin dissociate as carbon dioxide and hemoglobin when PCO2 is high and PO2 is low. PO2 is high and PCO2 is low. PCO2, PO2 are equal, none of the above. So where this thing is happening here, it is going to happen at lungs. So you brought carbon dioxide in the pulmonary capillaries from the body parts. So here the HbCO2 has to divide and carbon dioxide to be supplied to the lungs. When will it happen? When lungs are having low carbon dioxide and definitely high oxygen can be seen over. So what is our answer then? Our answer is PO2 should be high and PCO2 should be low. PO2 is high and PCO2 should be low. In breathing movements, air volume can be estimated by stethoscope, hygrometer, sphygmomanometer, spirometer. Straight question, straight answer from NCERT. Answer is spirometer. Identify the correct and incorrect match about respiratory volume and capacities. Mark the correct answer. Inspiratory capacity is given as TB and RV. So this is wrong. IC equal to TB plus IRV. So this is incorrect. Vital capacity is given as TB plus IRV plus ERV. VC equal to TB plus IRV plus ERV is the right. Residual volume is given as VC and IRV. There is no meaning here. Residual volume is the volume of air always remain in the lungs. At least you can say, you can represent this in the form of TLC minus RV equal to VC. So this is wrong. TB is given. TB is a normal inspiration process here. TB equal to IC. TB itself, the volume of air enter into the lungs, either inspiration or expiration. So, IC equal to, here it is given about the TB itself, TB. What is given? TB equal to IC minus, IC minus IRV. IC minus IRV definitely is going to be the TB. Because IC equal to, as we said here, IC equal to TB plus IRV. So what is the correct answer here? Second option. First one is incorrect, second is correct, the third one is incorrect, and the fourth one is correct. 14th question, the oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve will show a right shift in case of oxygen dissociation curve is showing the right shift. Oxygen dissociation curve showing right shift means hemoglobin dividing in the form of oxygen and hemoglobin. So when it will happen, where it will happen? It is going to happen at tissues when carbon dioxide is high. When carbon dioxide is high, when H plus ions are high, when temperature is high, when pH is low. So what will happen? The blood capillaries who brought oxyhemoglobin here, they break and they give oxygen to the tissues. If the tissues are maintaining such condition, definitely they get more oxygen. So what is given here? High PCO2. Yes, as we said, high PCO2. High PO2 might be this is the wrong. Low PCO2, this is the wrong. And this is wrong here. And less H plus, no. More H plus ion concentration we said now. So finally, among the four, this is given as an option. So remaining option should be carbon dioxide in place and temperature should be high and pH low. When pH is low, when carbon dioxide is high, when H plus ions high, when temperature is high at tissues, definitely oxyhemoglobin will break down. We call it as dissociation. And in the graph, we can say the right shift. Right shift. The graph will drop down. That we can say right shift. More dissociation, the more shift of the right graph towards the right side. So answer is high PCO2. Match the following is given here. Mark the correct options with animal and respiratory organ. Animals given earthworm, aquatic arthropods, fishes, birds and reptile, moist cuticle, gills, lungs, trachea. Okay, here we have little confusion. They are given aquatic arthropods. Aquatic arthropods, that means definitely crustaceans are aquatic arthropods. They have gills as a respiratory organ. So here I can see only this one. But when you see the remaining option, C1, fish is given as a moist cuticle. So that's why this is going to be wrong. That's why I'm going to erase this word aquatic arthropod because arthropod, terrestrial arthropods are having trachea. If I have to select this option, this is the only option. If it is, the B will be 4. This is the answer we have to select. B4 is only one given. B3 it cannot be. B3 lungs is not possible. So totally depend on the B. B1 is given. Arthropods, moist cuticle, not possible. So that's why I am selecting second option in that way. Let me see the remaining are correct or not. A1, earthworm, moist cuticle, and B4 as I said now, if I remove this word aquatic, then only it can be trachea, terrestrial arthropods, and the fishes are given gills, authorized for gills, fishes, birds and reptiles, definitely lungs. So seems to be the second option it is going to be. So this is breathing and exchange of gases, exemplar. Thank you.